and said, you know what my new drug is going to become? Fucking success.
Success.
I'm going to become a massive success.
So everyone, welcome to the Zain Effect. Today we have Grant Cardone. He has 21 best-selling books and business programs. He's the creator of Cardone U, founder of the infamous 10X global movement, and then the CEO of Cardone Capital, holding almost $1 billion in real estate right now.
$1.2 billion right now.
$1.2 billion in real estate.
Now it's going to start ratcheting up. Like, people are going to be like, what just happened here?
Well, I want to say thank you for coming on my show.
No, thank you.
Thank you for coming to my podcast, man.
Thank you for having me, man. My
awesome
pleasure.
having
my pleasure.
you.
It's my honor.
So, first off, I want to get into Los Angeles. Okay. So, you used to live in Los Angeles.
Right.
This was your old stomping grounds,
right,
but you actually moved to Miami.
Yeah, this is neighborhood right here. This is where I used to.
You used to live up here, right? On Doheny or something like that?
Exactly, Doheny and Oriole. Up in Lionel Richie's old house. I always brag about it being Lionel's house.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you about that later in that story about that house specifically.
Yeah.
But being in Los Angeles, right, there's obviously a lot of great things, a lot of great people, a lot of great connections. You run into a lot of great people.
Right.
However, you got the taxes, you got all those things. So tell us about the things you actually like about Los Angeles, but then the things that drove you out.
I mean, this city's crazy, right? So, like, the people you can meet here. I walked out to go to the restroom. I meet Anthony Scaramucci. He's a New York guy. He's a hedge fund guy. It's like, you shouldn't meet him here.
Yeah.
I get to town. I announce that I'm in LA. This dude drives up to Equinox the other day and says, and maybe you guys can clip in that truck that I'm in, right? That 6x6 Mercedes. Hey, Grant, man, I'm a big fan, man. RD here, wires only, man. I'm a big fan, dude. Like, I want to give you this 6x6 Mercedes. I'm like, I don't want anybody giving me anything. And he's like, no, man, really, no. Like, I just want to bring it to you. He's like, I know you're at Equinox. He drives up a 6x6 Mercedes. I didn't even know what that was. Mm-hmm. It's $1.5 million truck.
Holy crap.
That's like 2 Hummers.
Yeah.
And so he leaves that with me and then drives up and says, here, I want to give you this. I read the 10X rule. This is my way to say thank you. Use it all weekend.
That's crazy.
And then, by the way.
Does that never happen in Miami?
Huh?
Does that never happen in Miami to you?
Well, but LA's weird. It's crazy here.
Yeah.
And then the guy says, by the way, I got a friend that wants to talk to you.
Uh-huh.
And it's Jamie Foxx on a FaceTime.
Oh, my God.
And so I'm going to go have lunch with Jamie this afternoon. I don't know Jamie, So anyway, this town does that. Yesterday I was with Mike Tyson in the hot box, and my wife's doing LA. That does not have, all this kind of crazy stuff does not happen in Miami. Probably going to go to the Milken Conference tomorrow, which is a big annual conference of, people from all over the world come here. So.
Yeah. So I always hear you talk about Los Angeles, and you're like, Well,
let me just say one of the things. Like in the hotel we're at, because I'm sure you guys are going to get some B footage of this. I mean, this hotel, not just Los Angeles, it's kind of a phenomenal little jewel sitting here in Beverly Hills Hotel where, this was Frank Sinatra's stomping ground. So there's tremendous history here. And a feeling that maybe Miami doesn't have some of that. Mm-hmm. People are like, how do you like Miami? I said, well, financially, I like it 13.3% better.
Is it worth that 13.3%?
Dude, I drove in here the other day. I was like, God damn, because I love palm trees and I love plants and I love color and I love the weather, obviously. I wake up this morning and hear the birds singing,
Yeah.
And then, by 9 o'clock, I'm down on what's the Melrose or
and
I'm like, damn, I don't miss any of this.
Yeah, totally.
But every city's got that, right? Just California has this special magic. So I'll figure a way to come back here but not pay the state taxes.
Totally.
I'm working on it. I told my wife this morning, I said, we're going to come back here.
Yeah.
I'm just never going to pay them again.
You're just never going to pay the taxes.
Never. I'm never going to pay them.
Yeah, totally.
Which means the state's broken. It financially can never work.
Yeah, and it's kind of a sad thing in California because California is driving out a lot of people right now. A lot of people are moving to Texas, Florida, kind of all over. Yeah. But it's a beautiful state, and there's so many great things going on.
So they'll just come back in and use it. I can come back here, stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel as much as I want.
Yeah.
Never buy a car here. Never send my kids to school here. Never buy my groceries here. I mean, I'll leave a little bit of money with you, but you're not going to get what you could get.
Yeah.
It's just all my employees, all my health care, all my employees, hundreds and hundreds, 250 employees buying groceries here. Like, it was a dumb thing for them to raise. They should have lowered when they raised.
Yeah, 100%.
People would have come in not left.
Not left, yeah.
Now I'm just going to come use it like Uber.
Yeah, totally. So for me, I actually live in California because...
Nice socks, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, we got the 10X socks. So I actually live in California because my industry, I'm in the solar industry. Yeah. So this is the best state to be here. We make 3 or 4 times more than any other state just being in California because of the utility rates.
Wow.
So that's kind of why I justify it. It's a great place for a lot of recruiting, just bringing on a lot of salespeople, stuff like that. So that's kind of why I moved to LA. But I think the interesting part, this is kind of, I would say, my first 6 months where I'm going into the business influencer side of things, and I'm meeting a lot of people. You know, one phone call, I'm with my barber. Next thing you know, I'm with a guy who has 10 million subscribers on YouTube, one of the largest YouTubers in the world.
Wow.
He's like, hey, I want to meet you. I want to take you out to dinner. I'd love to meet you. I love this business thing.
Yeah.
And I start meeting Diddy's son.
Who's a YouTuber?
Rice Gum. I don't know if you know Rice Gum. He's like Jake Paul and all those guys.
Hook me up with him.
Yeah, totally. I can text him right after this. Yeah. I'll hook you up with him.
He can 10x my YouTube.
Yeah, totally. But you know, I met him. I met Diddy's son. I'm meeting all these people, and I go to one barber. I meet Tyga's manager. I meet Drake's manager. I meet all these people, and they're all like, "Oh, you're in that business thing. Oh, I love business. I want to know more about business. I want to understand this thing." And all these people are artists, and you actually sit down with them, and they don't really know that much about business, but they
want to.
But they want to, and they're really interested in that.
And they know at some point they'll have to.
Totally. So sitting down with these people, I'm getting so much value. This person's got 10 million on YouTube. Everyone knows him. I walk around with him. Everyone's like, hey, Rice.
Right.
But they're asking me questions, and they want to know in business. So that's what I think is really interesting about California, because I'm originally from Boston, and in Boston, even to see like a nice car, an exotic car, is like rare. It's like, whoa, you see that. Yeah. Out in LA, it's just kind of all over everywhere. Cool. So today, what I want to talk to you about, and the goal of this interview, is for everyone to understand who you are as a person.
Okay.
Because I found you at 16 years old, and you were this aggressive guy. You were this guy that had a drug problem before you figured it out, and then you kind of just kept going. And for me, growing up, I always got kicked out of class. I always had detention. Started smoking weed at 14. Was just kind of getting in trouble. Everyone told me I was doing the wrong things. They told me I had to focus on school. I had to listen to the teachers. Almost got put on Adderall and all these different drugs a bunch of times. I went through those little tests. I got labeled kind of special.
You got a problem?
And stuff
you're
school.
Special? Is that what they called you?
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't call me special.
Yeah. No. I was going to be called special. I took the test, and then I passed the test. They're like, it doesn't make sense. He's reading at an 8th grade level in 4th grade, but we just don't know what's going on with this kid.
Right.
And I just wasn't influenced by school. It just didn't motivate me, and I didn't really click with the people I was listening to. So when I met you, I started showing everyone. I'm showing my parents, I'm showing my teachers, and they're all like, why do you listen to this guy? This guy's too aggressive.
Yeah,
this guy's he's the sales guy.
I'm a beast, man. You know what Mike Tyson called me?
What did he call you?
You an animal, man. You're an animal, man. I said, you think? He's like, dude, you're one of the most aggressive people I ever met. I can feel it just vibrating off of you, man.
And that's coming from Mike Tyson. So.
Mike Tyson. I said, okay, interview. I'm good. I got what I need. He's like, man, what's this whole 10X movement, man? So what do you want to know about it? He's like, I want to know if I can be involved.
Oh, man.
I like this idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am aggressive, dude. And aggressive works for me.
It's good, though, because it clicked for me.
Yeah.
And I was hearing this message from my teachers, my parents, and it wasn't really clicking for me. It's something I didn't want to hear. I listened to you, and it's something that I wanted to hear, but I also knew I needed to hear. And that's what really clicked for me. So I kind of turned off my blinders. I stopped listening to everyone, and I just focused on you.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I went to college. I ended up dropping out of school. I worked at Tesla. And then I went to start my own company. Today we have a few hundred employees. We have 4 offices. Everyone's on Cardone U. And I attribute a lot of my success to not doing what everyone else does, right? Sometimes I sit in boardrooms with corporate individuals, people that are, 50s, 60s, they've been in finance corporate their entire life, and they don't understand this world.
Yeah.
They don't understand me, and they don't understand my energy. But I'm at the point now where it's kind of like, I've been doing something, it's a successful action, I've been winning at it, and it's really interesting to see everyone change. My parents look up to me now. Everyone around me starts asking me questions. So a lot of people don't understand you, and I want to get. I want to get.
How do you know people don't understand me though?
Because a lot of people say that.
A
lot of people come.
So let's just start with the aggression thing, okay? Yeah. So like, when I tell you guys, like, hey, like I am aggressive, and aggressive works for me. The reality is everyone's aggressive.
Yeah.
Like from the very first moment. Like if you watch sperm cell, it's a cell? I think sperm's a cell, right? So when it's finding an egg, dude, you're talking about massive aggression.
Yeah.
You're talking about obsessive, tremendous. Like if that was the original beginning of the individual, which I don't think it is, we're talking about a trajectory more violent, with more purpose, more driven. That means all of us have that. You know, and like if you ever just go Google, well, you know, the activity of a sperm, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty violent.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
and it's a crazy stat because like you're like the chances of you being born are like 1 in a billion or something like that.
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
sperm
There's a lot of them competing for that connection, right?
Yeah.
So, and then even when you make it, you might not make it. So, when people say, "Man, you're too aggressive," I'm like, "You're not aggressive enough." Right? You're the only people that have problem with aggressive. Again, I would talk about Mike Tyson just because it's so fresh in my mind. I said, Mike, he's like, man, but granted, you know, the aggression thing and the ego and the accomplishments, and he's like, it's too much. And I'm like, no, dude, it was fine.
Yeah.
Mike, when you were winning, you were doing better in all areas of life. The only people, you didn't have a problem, Mike. The people around you had a problem with it.
Yeah.
They were trying to filter you down.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll bet that other areas of your life were actually affected because of your winning. Not when you were losing. When you were winning, he's like, you know, actually his grades, he was a terrible student. He says, when I won my first fight, my grades got better. I said, that's right, bro, because you're winning. And winning's important. Even in our society today, we say, don't be aggressive, don't be noisy, don't promote yourself too much, don't win too much, don't succeed too much, don't get too much money, you know, and this is probably why school didn't gel with you, dude, because you have this, you were able to keep awake this mission that you're going to be somebody special. Because you know you should be.
I always felt it too at a really young age.
Yeah.
It was something I felt. It's like, I know I'm going to be great. I grew up in a small place. My parents were both immigrants. So I always kind of was focused on being great, but having 2 parents that were immigrants, to them, the successful action is going to school.
Yeah.
It's getting done because they never had that opportunity.
Have a family. Take care of your family.
Yeah.
Like that was my deal, right? My family was like, look, family's the most important thing. I'm like, what do you mean? There's only 5 of us.
Yeah.
Like, how can 5 people be the most important thing on a planet with 7 billion people?
Yeah.
It's a very, very small thinking.
Yeah.
You know, like the house thing. It's like, the house, get a house, man. You got to get a house. It's so small. Like, is that the goal, to get a house and a mortgage? Or is that just a way to trap people?
It just feels like something that's not even big enough to push you. Because in business and life, you have a lot of these things and you need to get pushed. And a house, like a lot of people kind of have that.
I got to go to the same place every day. Same place every day. 2103 Board Street. Same place every day. Same place. I go home. I'm excited about it in the first 90 days, but I got to keep this for 30 years, dude.
Yeah.
Like the mortgage on a house is a bigger commitment than most people make to marriage.
Yeah.
People go into marriage saying, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's going to work for 7 or 8 years. You know, I can get out of this if I need to.
Yeah.
Right? But that house, that mortgage, like, how do you get rid of it? Like, it's a big commitment, and it's in one place, and it's not what, I'm just using this example as a way people settle.
Yeah.
Is they settle down. And then they make the aggressive people somehow wrong.
And they try to stop the aggressive.
But on the weekends, we admire the aggressive people.
Drinking, partying, all these things.
We admire Conor McGregor. We admire Tom Brady. We admire the one-hand catch.
Yeah.
I might not even know their names. It's not the celebrity either. It is success that we admire. It could be an unknown person doing something phenomenal, and then everybody stops and says, "Did you see that person do that?" Right? Why? They're talking about what he did, not who he is.
Yeah.
Right? It's the doingness that.
And do you feel like the aggressive message gives you more than it takes away from you? Because obviously there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to.
That's not my deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I just know. I know I'm at a time in my life where I'm going to tell people what works for me. You know. I remember watching Tiger Woods win this last tournament he was in, and he says, you know, I just got to stay aggressive. He didn't say I got to stay conservative.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta be aggressive. All these golfers, they talk about playing the game aggressively.
Yeah.
A game where the ball is this big. And the little iron thing's this big. I mean, it's one of the hardest things you can do, but they're talking about being aggressive.
And I feel like especially for young people, when you're first starting in business, or even if you're first becoming an influencer, you face a lot more pushback. It kind of feels like an uphill thing, right? But I'm assuming there's probably a point, like for you, where you got to a point and everyone's like, you know what? I actually like this. I actually want to be a part of this. I actually want to support this. What was that point for you, where you kind of were going uphill and then everything kind of started going your way?
My whole life I've had somebody second guess what I was going to do. You know, I was everything. There's not one thing I'm thinking. I'm just running through my head all these endeavors I was going to take on. I remember telling my mom, I said, I'm going to start buying real estate. Oh my God, why would you do that? I was already doing well. I had 2 businesses that were working.
Yeah.
She's like, why would you do that? I'm like, why not? Well, you're already working so hard. Everything. There was always, but why would you do that? You know, from people I love, man, and loved me. People that cared for me. Yeah. These people were on my team.
All of it was good intention. It was just the wrong information.
Well, they were like, why would you do that? Then you're gonna have tenants calling you, and then you got to sign a loan, and then you got this obligation. And I'm like, yeah. Well, people are gonna call you at midnight, and they're gonna say you got to come fix my toilets. At least it's rented. So I've just had the whole time I've had a little bit different viewpoint. Somehow I escaped this mass viewpoint that people have. Oh, it's a problem. No, it's an opportunity. And today, I think I have 14 different little partnerships or businesses today. Yeah. About four of them came on in the last 90 days. I don't know if they're going to be successful. It looks like they could be. Yeah. Dude, the more I have to do, the happier I am. Yeah. Everybody would agree with that. Totally. Everybody has said that in their own way one day. Yeah. You know, like your day went by so, I can't believe the day's over. Yeah. Okay, what would you rather? That? Because you had a lot to do? Or, God, man, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. I got 4 hours left because nothing's happening. Yeah. See, that's an indication. That's that frequency. A lot of things happening. Yeah. Makes people happy. Yeah. And then like people have told me, you know, when I started really rolling, I guess I was 38. I had a lot going on. Yeah. I was traveling 200 days a year, and people started getting in my head. Saying, man, you're going to burn out, dude. Like I'm a candle. Yeah. Like I can be bought at Bed Bath & Beyond or something. I said, dude, I'm not a candle. But did you ever listen to it in that time? Were you actually listening to that? I mean, they tell you over and over. You start thinking, and it keeps happening. You're going too fast, man. You're doing too much. You're looking tired. You know, oh my God, Grant, you got bags under your eyes. You look tired. You need to get more rest. I'm like, no, I need more water. Yeah. Rest isn't the issue. I get 8 hours. I do 8 hours every night. So people were telling me stuff. They start telling me, you got to slow down. You need this. You need that. It was the people, dude. It's always been the people that don't want me to be aggressive. Yeah. I'm not hurting anybody. Like, you might not like the way I drive. I've been told my whole life I'm a bad driver. But I don't hit anybody. Okay? I don't. Do you see that truck I'm driving? Yeah, it's fucking massive. You ought to see me going down the street, man. I had a Camry passing. You're going crazy. I said, ain't no Camry passing me. Yeah. Okay? And I start racing this Camry down the street, right? Yeah. And I'm having fun. I want to have fun in life. Totally. And so if I get a ticket, okay, so what? I'll get a ticket. I want to have fun. Yeah. I don't want to hurt anybody. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be aggressive to the point of hurting someone. People, right? Yeah. That's why I don't do drugs today, and I don't drink and drive, and I rarely drink. But I want to have fun. I want to experience life. That's why I don't smoke weed. Yeah. And I was talking to Mike yesterday. Why not, man? I said, dude, when I smoke weed, I slow down. Yeah. And he's like, why is that a problem? I said, it's not fun for you. It puts me in doubt. Yeah. Okay. If I could drive a car 70 miles an hour and I smoke some of this stuff that they got going around, it's make you go slower. Dude, the next thing you know, you're going 40 miles an hour. When the speed limit is 75. I've had those moments. You're driving and you're looking around and you're wondering if the cops are behind you, if something's happening to you. I'm starting to worry about everything behind me, not what's in front of me. The fact that it slowed me down, right, indicates to me that it caused me to be in doubt. I don't want to be in doubt in life. The faster I can run from point A to point B, the faster I get there. And when people watch, they're like, they want to see that, dude. People want to watch that. You know, I want to watch that. I want to achieve that. Yeah. And so I'm just interested in that. That's why I'm interested in skills, right? Because skills, when you have true skills, that's why I was saying you guys on the cameras were doing such a great job. The more confident you are, the faster you can go.
Yeah.
And the less confident you are, drugs make people not confident.
Yeah.
And so it's not a moral issue with me. People can use drugs. I mean, they were smoking weed in front of me. Whatever you do, you can do whatever you want to do. But I don't want it for me because it causes me doubt about myself.
And it seems like all of these things you're saying are about you, right? All of these things are things in the way you like to practice your life.
I'm not judging other people.
Exactly.
They're judging me. Like
exactly. And it's kind of like it's kind of like hypocritical because you're really focused on yourself and just the way to keep yourself happy.
Yeah.
It's like he's aggressive, but that's your life.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
And look, I'm trying to improve myself. I got my hands full with my life.
Yeah.
Some guy asked me about aliens the other day. I'm like, bro, like, I got my hands full with my kids. Like,
yeah.
I got my hands full with my life. I'm trying to put fuel in my plane.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out my schedule, my calendar. I'm trying to figure out how do I go, before I go to Bucharest, do I go to Rome? Well, I go to Rome, I go to Bucharest. What's the time to schedule? I go from, when I leave Bucharest at 2:00 in the afternoon, can I get to Dubai? How long can I be in Dubai to get to Singapore, to get to Malaysia? Where do I go after that? And I'd like to go to Burma and ride some elephants.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out my life. And you're talking about aliens and politics.
Yeah.
Which seem very closely related, by the way.
Totally.
Because they're both acting like something I don't understand.
I get that. So I want to talk about one thing because we're talking about today, right? I want to go back to early Grant, young Grant, how you kind of got started, and that point kind of from like 15 years old all the way to 25, 30. I want you to talk a little bit about how Grant was back then and what was going through your head.
What Grant? What?
I'd say like 15 to 25, kind of. I was a rat, in that 10-year gap.
15 to my dad died when I was 10, so everything went terrible for me between 10 and 15. It was awful.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for a dad. I needed a dad. I think, and the statistics show that kids without fathers like have problems.
Yeah.
At 200% and 300% higher. Criminal rates, drug rates, suicide rates, everything. I think suicide's like 3 or 4 times higher.
And why do you think that?
Because I think a dad does something a mom can't. I know in my family, Elena, the mother, she provides a guidance to the kids. But there's something I do for those kids that is different. There's something about that male energy that I don't know what it is. I don't want to sound sexist, but it's definitely different. I'm not a good mother, by the way, so it's not a negative sexist thing. I'm just a terrible mother.
Yeah.
I don't worry about them.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids to be careful. I want them to be dangerous. I know that being dangerous makes you safer in society than being careful. So we just kind of a different vibe, right?
Totally.
Like I'll put them in the front seat. I don't care what the law says they can't sit in the front seat. I hated being 6 years old not sitting in the front seat. I want to be in the front seat, dude.
Yeah.
I'll let them drive the car on the weekends with me, and they're 6 years old. I'm like, come on, sit up here, let's roll. Because I know what that does to a kid, dude. The power they get.
Yeah.
Like when you're 6 years old and you put your hands on the steering wheel, and I couldn't do any of that. And I hated that, dude. I always wanted to be a grown-up.
Holding you back, kind of.
I wanted to be the guy in control.
Yeah.
So even when I was 5 and 6 years old, so I wanted to be my dad. Because as a little kid, I looked up to my dad. Not my older brother, not my older sisters, not my mother. It was my dad I looked up to. Because my dad is the one that was in control.
Yeah.
So my fascination, a lot of people think I love money and all that. My fascination has been with control. Dude, whoever had control, by the way, that person also had the money most of the time. And they decided where we went, when we went, how long we could stay there, and what we did while we were there. And so when my dad died, dude, I was like, oh my God, dude, who's going to teach me how to get control?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe my uncle will come by. So this is between 10, 12, 13, 14 years old. No uncle showed up. Desperately waiting for somebody to show up. Mm-hmm. Now I got my mom over there. She's worried about me hurting myself. She's a mother. Be careful. Take care of yourself. She's clipping coupons. She's terrified herself. Mm-hmm. She's overwhelmed, dude. She doesn't know how to get money in. She's got 5 kids. So I'm learning a lot of data right here. I can't help her. Money's important. Must be. Why is she clipping coupons? why is there such a fascination with this one box in the kitchen?
Yeah.
The coupon box, okay?
I had that same thing. I had my mom cutting everything and making
Dude, her
books
scissors,
and all these things.
her scissors, I think she would put the scissors on one of those freaking things to make sure they were sharp to keep them on the line. Dude, the coupon thing was the most treasured box in the house.
Yeah.
And because that was the box where she would go through it 30 minutes before she went to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And make sure, hey, she wasn't overpaying for those strawberries.
Yeah.
So that really influenced me, that money was important and we didn't have enough.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help her. And I hated that, right? So by the time I'm 15 now I'm like 15, I'm hitting whatever happens to a kid at 15. And
yeah.
I hate school. I hate that I can't help my mom. I hate sitting in the classroom. Somebody introduced me to weed. Next thing you know, I mean, like it was like I walked into to another life.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those shows where you walk through the door, you end up on another planet. Dude, it's like I smoked weed twice, and next thing you know, I'm doing like within 18 months, I'm using every drug, any drug you have.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay, let's roll. What's it do to you? It doesn't matter.
I'll do
Up,
it.
down, sideways.
Yeah.
And I would do that for embarrassingly 10 years for 3,650 days.
Yeah.
Every day.
And what happened to you? What? Because I know some people say they have turning points. Some people are like, I just started doing the right things. Like, what was that point for you that kind of flipped everything?
Well, my turning point looks more like the head of a nail that's been hit on so many times that it just keeps getting flatter and wider and thinner. Like I was just pelted on, dude. People see me today and they hear me talk about this thing. You can't even imagine. No matter what, there's no pictures of me, by the way. There's 10 years of my life where you can't even find a Grant Cardone. He is hiding, and dude, it was just.
And were you so-called aggressive back then?
Oh, yeah, I was very aggressive.
Yeah,
but I was dangerous. I was a danger to society.
It was on the wrong side.
I was a danger to myself, to my family, to my friends, if I had any. I was a danger to society. I was the guy you should say, hey, stay away from me. And it was terrible, dude.
And when you say friends, if you had any.
Yeah, I didn't have any friends. I mean, those aren't friends. That's the enemy. Yeah. Anybody gives you drugs. Anybody supports you killing yourself every day. Yeah. I overdosed 3 times, full-blown overdose. Had not somebody come and woke me up, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So and the fact that I'm alive is phenomenal. Yeah. So at 23, totally. I got beat up at 23. If there was going to be a turning point, it would have been at 23. And you got beat up, you said? Dude, I got beat up like a scar. This scar right here. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is a big freaking just like right here. This is a 45 caliber pistol, guy. Wham! Knocks me down on my back. Okay, and then hits me over both eyes, underneath both eyes. 70 stitches in my head. You 70. Can't see those. It's just tracked. I'll never go bald because of that. And then he hit me behind both elbows. So why? He's a professional, by the way. When a guy hits you, takes a gun and hits you behind your elbows, it's to disable you so that he can just track you. Yeah. And all I remember is the first one, though. This one. You only, when you get hit, people don't know this because they've never been hit, but it's the reason why most people can't hit because they've never been hit. But it only hurts to get hit once. Once you crack, it's done. You don't feel pain anymore. Yeah. So it's the next day though. I went to hospital. I was in a hospital for 3 days, and police came. Hey, we know something happened. They're all over my house. There's drugs in my house. It was a drug deal that I was using drugs with these guys, and they came and knew I had some money and robbed me. And so you would think. Okay. Anybody be like, okay, I'm done here. I'm done now. Yeah. I'm done. I'm good. Okay. I tap out on this one. Okay. I was using drugs the next morning in the hospital. It's crazy. Insane, dude. For 2 more years. I quit when my mom, 2 years later, I was in Lafayette, Louisiana. I was with this chick, Angela. Angela was there in the hospital with me. She brought me the drugs, by the way. 2 years later, Angela was still with me. We go there. I am fucked up out of my mind.
Yeah.
Slurring, tongue's thick. Mom's not, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, I'm done. Don't come here again. You're not welcomed here again. You're not welcome to the house. You're not welcome to the office.
And she just cut you off.
She's like, that's it. I'm done. It was the hardest thing she ever did.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, that's tough love. No, that's absolute love.
It's real love.
You know, and it's the hardest thing you can do.
How'd you feel about that?
Well, I was in treatment. 28 days later, so I went to a treatment center for 28 days. Somebody finally took away what I wasn't willing to lose.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I went to treatment, and that was good and bad for me because they introduced me to the other drugs, the all right drugs, the proper drugs.
And then...
But I got off of drugs for 28 days. It was the first 28 days I had in 3,600 days. So it gave me confidence. Fuck, I can do this. You know, I can do this without drugs thing. Now, when I left, they started telling me all this stuff. Like because those people are very, very confused. They thought I had a drug problem.
Yeah.
And I never had a drug problem. I mean, I had a drug problem because I used drugs every day.
Yeah, totally.
But what's the cause of this, right?
That problem.
And they thought I lost my dad. Hopefully your parents will die before you do.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully that will happen.
It happens.
If you can take all that in, right?
Yeah.
Both of my parents are no longer, you know, alive, right? But are around.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to lose something, dude. I've lost dogs. I lost my older brother. You're not, if the reason you're going to become a drug addict is because you lost your daddy, well shit, man, everybody should be a drug addict. That never connected. I'm like, wait, you were abandoned by your father, or he abandoned you. I'm like, he died. Heart blew up in his chest.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, what is the problem here? The reason I got on drugs, bro, was because I was bored.
You were bored.
I would have taken anything. You could have offered me homosexuality. Yeah, let's roll.
I'm in.
You could have offered me a marathon. Yeah, I'll run a marathon. You could have offered me anything that would have been interesting, right? I would have taken it. I was looking for leadership, man. I was looking for activity. I was looking for aggression.
Yeah.
What can I do? You know, it's interesting. McGregor, he talks about, he's like, look, I don't win because of my skills. I win because I'm obsessed. And so I took out of that treatment center. They introduced me to other drugs, by the way. They wanted me to take these other Adderall or phenobarbital or something.
Did you take those or no?
I brought them home with me and threw them away, and said, you know what, my new drug is going to become fucking success. I'm going to become a massive success.
And was that at 25?
25 years old. And the problem was I didn't have a vehicle. I had a job I hated. I'm like, I'm trying to think, how am I going to be a major success? And I hate my job. And then I'm like, okay, I got to change jobs. And then I realized, ain't nobody going to hire you, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody in town, the little town I lived in, everybody knew I was a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you got one company that will take you back. You need to get great at that job.
And that was sales, right?
Yeah. And I was in a sales job that I hated.
Cars or?
I was selling cars. I was selling Jeeps and used cars and Toyotas.
Okay.
And I went back, dude, and I got great at something I hated.
Mm-hmm. So
it saved my life.
Yeah. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about, and a lot of people have asked me about this, is Grant at 25 today. So a lot of people, you know, I've heard people ask you, what would you change at 25 back then? Mm-hmm. But today, with social media, with all of these things going on, what would you change today? And what would Grant be like at 25 in 2019?
Right now?
Yeah.
What would I be doing? Okay, I don't have any money. I'm in debt. So
it's the same situation.
Same situation. So I'm in debt. I'm just out of the treatment center. I'm 40 grand in debt. What would I do? Man, shit, I'd blast off so fast. Like, it'd be like, oh wow, now I can get known.
Yeah.
We don't have an Instagram. Or I'd get distracted by it. That would be the other
That'd be it. Yeah.
But you see, I didn't get distracted when I was 25. Once I put my head down, a lot of people around me were getting distracted. I wasn't getting distracted. I did one thing every day.
Yeah.
I went to work. I did two things every day. I went to work and I helped people. Only two things I did every day. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd work, and when I got home at night, if I had 2 hours, I'd go help somebody. Only two things I did for probably 5 years.
Yeah.
Worked and helped. If I wasn't being successful in my work, I helped somebody. I just kept doing this work help, right? And every time I helped somebody, I'd work harder.
Yeah.
And every time I helped somebody, I'd win more.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden there was this connection, and for the next 35 years, I work and help. And my life got better.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever taken a time off to pull out of that, to like, okay, you got it now, you got it, you done well, you can take a rest. Every time I've done that, I got in trouble throughout the.
And I always see that with salespeople, right? A lot of salespeople will kind of roller coaster. They'll go up, they'll have a high month, and after the high month, all of them are going on vacation.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that you violated what got you there.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't taking vacations. You know, when we lived in LA, when I rolled up here, I see this guy driving a Wraith, and I see another, Rolls over here. And when we drove up this morning, I said, dude, I never bought any of that shit. These guys are all collecting all their little machinery and their toys. Look at me, diamond watches, all their bullshit. I didn't do any of that stuff. All I did was work, help people, and stack cash. Work, help people, and stack cash. That's all I did. I'm like, I'm not showing off for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to stack cash, and I'm going to get cash flow.
So I always hear you tell people that your biggest mistake at that time was not thinking big enough.
Oh,
right,
massive.
So,
but dude, it was a small world then. You didn't have Instagram. You
couldn't see all of that.
I couldn't. I lived in. Where was I living? It's Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's 60,000 people in it. It's a little tiny town. I hadn't been on a plane yet, bro. At 25 years old, you understand?
You hadn't been on a plane.
I've not been on a plane. I was on one plane actually to the treatment center, but I don't even remember the trip.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you remember the trip? I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
I remember the trip home. That was the first time I was ever on a plane.
So I always hear you say that, but how would you go bigger at that time, right? Because I always hear you say that the biggest mistake was not playing big enough.
Yeah. So
how would you play big?
Yeah. So look, I was selling cars. Okay, you can only make so much money selling cars. You can only be. I would have probably bought car dealerships.
Yeah.
I would have had somebody saying, "Dude, look, come up with a plan here." You hate your job because you're thinking too small. When I was at McDonald's, I got fired from McDonald's because I was thinking too small. I hated flipping French fries. I should have been thinking about owning 50 or 60 or 100 or 200 McDonald's franchises, because then it becomes interesting. Now your audience is going to say, I don't need all that.
Yeah.
I know, because somebody told you don't need all that.
And I feel like there's a difference there, right? Because yes, you should have owned those car dealerships, but if you didn't sell enough cars, if you didn't do sales for a long enough time, you wouldn't be able to do that. So how does one?
Yeah, you can't just jump right to another planet, right? You got to learn. You got to learn how to do what's going to be needed by others, so that you can actually be successful. I mean, I think a lot of people just want to. Like, they want to buy the thing that says, I'm going to be a success. I mean, it's just not real. You got to pay the price. And so, if I was 25 years old today, what would I be doing right now? I probably wouldn't be selling cars.
Yeah.
Because you just can't get big enough.
It'd be sales though, right?
It could be sales. It could be sales. It would be some form of persuasion. I'd probably be on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Now, did I have my bad reputation?
Yeah. 100%. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't go to Wall Street then, because they're not going to hire me.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm probably gonna throw myself harder into real estate for sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna throw, because the real estate game's open for anybody. It doesn't. You could have a criminal record and you can still go buy real estate. As long as you can come up with the down payment and promise to pay people back, and you got a good piece of real estate, you can get a loan. You
can still get real estate.
So, and my credit wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So, and then I'd use Instagram and Facebook to get myself known. I mean, I would have to do that. Because if nobody knows you, nothing's going to happen anyway.
Nothing's going to happen.
Good or bad.
Totally. So now I want to talk about just kind of building your business. So everyone sees your business today. Everyone sees your plane. Was that Steve
Spray's question?
Yeah,
right there?
Yeah, it was Steve Spray's question.
Yeah. So Steve, what I would tell you, dude, this is what I would do. What you're doing, Steve, I didn't have a vehicle, Steve, like you have. If I had a vehicle like you had, when I started saying, what would I do? I'm looking for a vehicle. In my mind, I'm like, where's the vehicle? I'd work for Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
If I could have found a guy like me,
you would.
Dude, I'd be like, I would look for somebody that I could work with.
Yeah.
and say, hey, I'm going to get great at this, and then I'm going to run this division. Steve, that's what I would do. I'd start looking at what division can you run.
Yeah.
And I'd stack all my dough into this cash flow thing that we're doing.
And I feel like today it's really easy to get distracted with that, though, right? Because you have people telling you, hey, you can do e-com, you can do this thing, you can do that thing, you can do this thing. How do you stay focused on that main thing? Because at the end of the day, you could try doing 5 or 6 different things. I think sometimes people don't understand you when you're like, yeah, you need to have cash flow everywhere, you need to have all these income streams, but you do need to have a main one, and you need to start with something.
You need to study, really, if you're financially motivated, you should study, quit listening to everybody, and start studying the most financially successful people on the planet.
Yeah.
So first thing everybody thinks of, I'm gonna follow people. No, you should follow companies. The most successful people on planet Earth are not
companies.
People. It's Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs does not take a small position in a company. They take major positions.
Yeah.
They diversify only when they have so much money they have to buy more companies.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett's a good example. What he did at Berkshire. Okay, so Warren Buffett is not a stock investor. Number one, I'm going to diversify my investments. That's what people say. That's what we're sold this pile of bullshit, and then we adopt it as the truth. Okay, the wealthiest people on this planet. If you go back to even back in the 20s and the 1900s when the people came here and made a lot of money, the guy owned the railroads.
Yeah,
he didn't do railroads and oil and farms. He did railroads, dude, and he took a position in railroad that, by the way, ended up being a real estate play.
Totally.
Okay, Warren Buffett, he made major investments. His investment in Coca-Cola, I don't know, he's got, somebody can look it up, how many shares of Coca-Cola he has today, 10 or 12% of the company.
Crazy.
He bought a major position in one company.
In that company, yeah.
When that company started spitting so much cash flow at him, he used the cash flow to then make a second investment. Totally. Okay, and he's ended up with companies, but he didn't diversify in the beginning. He made major investments in one thing in the beginning. And this is what the young person is not doing right today. Mm-hmm. You guys are spreading yourself. What's the number?
9.4%.
Oh, is it 9? How many shares though?
I don't know. It's over $1 billion though in Coke.
Yeah, check it out. You'll see how many shares. This is a fucking massive number.
That's crazy.
Right? How much Apple stocks he got?
400 million shares of Coke.
400 million
400
shares.
Million shares.
That's a lot.
That's not a share. That's not a stock. I'm diversified in a stock. It's 400 million shares of one company. So that blows out your whole ETF bullshit mutual fund.
Yeah.
I got to be in 500 different stocks to protect myself, and I'm going to be in an S&P 500 index fund. That's not what he's doing, dude. He took a major position in a company. So when I looked at that, I'm like, and I was 29 years old. I'm studying Warren, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, I can't buy Coca-Cola. What can I buy? Dude, I could buy that apartment complex over there. I can buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can own 100% of one apartment complex that's got 38 doors on it. Mm-hmm. And I can just ride that out for the next 30 years. I know it's going to be there. I know it won't go away, and I know it'll stay rented. And I know it will cash flow. As long as it cash flows, that's what Warren does. He only buys. He bought Apple when he finally understood that Apple was a cash flow behemoth.
Yeah.
It was not a technology company. When he finally got his head wrapped around how many shares of Apple?
A quarter billion.
Yeah, 250
billion
million shares of the big app pull. Okay, which by the way is the iTunes play.
Yeah.
Like when he finally got his head around, it wasn't a phone. It was a subscription model.
It was a service.
It was a service, and it was the pods, and it was a great company and great management, and it was iTunes. And he's like, shit, I'm buying the cash flow.
Totally. So for a young person though, right, that might be too hard to grasp.
Yeah.
Just buying that.
Dude, don't, what you need to do, simplify this thing. Okay?
Yeah.
You're in solar. Get so good at solar, bro. Look, before you diversify, go bang on another door.
Yeah.
You need to become the freaking door banging motherfucker of the universe.
So I want to talk about that, right?
Because can I use that word here?
100%. 100%.
You need to become you need to go bang on the door. Yeah, you need to go bang on the door. They tell you to get out of the neighborhood, and you go figure out how to bang on it again and not get arrested.
Yeah.
Like, if you can figure that gig out, I guarantee you will be the most successful person your genetic code has ever generated.
Yeah.
Anyone in your family. Everybody I know says, man, Learn how to cold call. I have the career I have today because I learned how to cold call.
So I want to talk about building that business there, right? Because everyone sees you today, and I've heard some crazy stories about you from other people. And
like what? What's the crazy story?
I've heard some stuff about your house. I've heard.
What about my house?
So I was hearing about the story.
See, the house in La Jolla. That's where the crazy stories are. Not the one here.
I'm talking about the one here, but
the one here doesn't.
I remember talking to
the house in La Jolla.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the stories.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Dude, I used to have. You guys want to hear this?
Yeah.
So I used to have. I was single.
Yeah.
Okay. And I when I was 8 or 9 years old, I saw a movie, James Bond, with my dad and my grandfather. And when I saw that movie, I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be James Bond. I'm getting all the chicks."
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't getting one of them because that's what I always see James Bond. James Bond. Look at this dude. This guy. First of all, he wrecks cars, crashes them, and walks away. He don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive a car, dude. I want to wreck that thing and walk away. Gets all the women. Okay? Mm-hmm. Movie starts with a chick and ends with a chick. Okay?
Yeah.
He's on the raft floating away. I'll call you guys later.
Yeah.
Before there was even phones.
Yeah.
Okay? And then he'd go into the casinos, lose money, and walk out away. I said, that's the life I want. So, be careful of the things you ask for.
Totally.
Because by the time I was 40 years old, dude, I wasn't wrecking cars and I didn't have all the money I wanted, but I had this house in La Jolla. It was on the ocean. Mm-hmm. And this was an impossible house for any human being to escape.
Yeah.
Without losing some of their values.
Yeah. Totally.
So particularly women.
Yeah.
And I turned into this guy that I imagined being. And it wasn't really me.
Yeah.
This house had this, must have been in a vortex or something of some sort. It had this fucking effect on people.
Yeah.
Because women would come there and they'd be like 30 minutes after they got there, "Oh my God, I'm doing stuff I've never done before." And I'm like, "You're good at it.
You're good. Yeah.
You're a pro for being a first timer."
Yeah.
And it happened all the time. It was the craziest place. I sold that house because it made me so unhappy.
Wow.
Because even though I had all this traffic and I had this thing I wanted, what I really wanted, a full life for me was not that. It was a family.
Yeah.
And I moved to LA to meet Elena.
Yeah.
And I met her the first night I was here.
Yeah. So I've heard a crazy story from Gavin, actually.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, I heard a crazy story about Gavin, about how he was talking to you.
Gavin didn't know the La Jolla house.
Yeah. He was telling me about how he was trying to raise money from you for something.
Oh, yeah.
And you had this point, you had this point, I think you had maybe made $1 million or something like that, but you were still making money.
It was early on, yeah.
Yeah, it was early on. And he was trying to wipe you out. He was like, if you do this, you're going to get to that next level. Uh-huh. So I want you to talk about a little bit about that point, because I think a lot of young people, they're just kind of holding on to their money. They're not really doing things with it. But you can't really be storing your money or just holding on to it. You have to use it for something. So I want you to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so look, first, I know guys in solar, they go out and make 70 grand in a month.
Yeah.
And you go on vacation.
Yeah.
That's just a violation of what made you the 70 grand. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
Oh, I deserve it. I work so hard. Dude, you're lucky, and double down.
All in on.
Like you're lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. LeBron makes a 3-pointer. He doesn't go do a layup. He goes and he's like, dude, I got these 3-pointers down. Like, what do you do after you make a 3-pointer? You throw another one from the same spot.
Yeah.
Because the basket gets bigger. You don't take off now, dude. You freaking lean into it, right?
Yeah.
When I was 25, dude, I was so scared. If I sold somebody something, I'm like, oh my God, this is only going to last for another minute or two. Go meet somebody. Go talk to somebody. I'd sell a second person. I'm like, oh, I'm on fire now. Like, I can sell anybody. Yeah. People would walk up. I'd sold 5 or 6 cars in one day. I'm like, I thought I was a damn, I had been Stan Lee had somehow, influenced me into some super freaking character. And I was like, I walked up to a lady one night. It was must have been 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I'd sold 6 cars that day. I was in the zone, dude.
Yeah, totally.
And I walked out and I said, how about no money down and nothing a month? And she's like, huh? No money down, no money a month. You never have to pay for it. She's like, for how long? I'm like, man, I got it.
You got it.
Okay, I was in the zone. Next thing you know, she's buying something from me.
Yeah,
right? I was because I was in the zone. So what I would tell people out there is look, when you make money, You need a plan with money. Number one, get it. You don't have to make it. Earn it.
Yeah.
2, keep it. Don't buy shit with it.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't spend money on stuff until you have cash flow that can buy stuff. Like when you guys see me out spending money today, in December, I bought 2 Rolls Royce. I bought a Cullinan, $449,000 car.
Yeah.
And I bought my wife a Wraith. It's $425,000. Okay? Still,
That's it.
I leased one of them, signed a lease on one of them for 24 months and wrote a check for cash for the other one. Okay?
Yeah.
So people are like, how can you do that? Dude, I earned that much. I earned more money that month from free cash flow. I'm not working for it. My real estate paid me enough money to pay for both of those cars right there.
Right there.
No, I didn't pay for the cars. My cash flow did. So earn it, keep it. Don't buy watches. Don't buy fancy shit. Don't buy Lambos. Don't rent Lambos. Don't go on fancy vacations. Don't buy your little trinkets until your cash flow can pay for it, not your time.
Yeah.
And the third thing is just get your money to make money, to multiply, to have babies.
So everyone always asks about how much money, right? So I've heard you say 40, 40, 20.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about
so the 40, 40, 20 is, you're going to pay the government. I mean, if you make 80 grand a year, you're going to pay the government 40% of it. Whatever you pay them, you should hold for yourself, store for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you should live on the rest. And if you do that, that's good that you know the 40, 40, 20, okay? Because if you do that, the 20 will strap you down so tight. Like you will be living, if you live in LA, you're going to be like, you will be sharing an apartment with somebody, and you will not be leasing the car that you have now.
Totally.
You're going to have to pull everything down, or if you're like me and you don't want to keep living lower, then you're going to figure out how to get the other number higher.
Yeah, and if you actually do all of the math on the 40, 40, 20, and it ends up being a little bit of money, and people are making $100,000 a year, even $250,000 a year.
Dude, I know people that make $250,000 a year that work for Facebook that they're like, there's no way I can save 40% of my money.
Totally.
I said, no, but you live in the wrong place, bud.
Yeah.
So that's why we start. Why does Grant Cardone leave Los Angeles and move to Miami? Now, clearly, like, you don't have to flip a coin on this.
Totally. Okay,
Miami is more beautiful than Los Angeles in some ways, but not enough ways.
Yeah.
If I had the same tax basis in LA that I had in Miami, I would be in LA and I would visit Miami. I mean, Miami's beautiful, gorgeous. Rather than driving up and down the streets here, the big wide streets in Beverly Hills.
Yeah. It's flat there, right?
Well, it's flat but it could be a waterway.
Totally.
So I could be on a boat. You can't do that here in LA, but there's so many beautiful things about LA. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's not 13.3% on $50 or $60 million every year, and I'm paying $7-8 million to live here when I can come visit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if I paid the taxes if they actually did something with them. By the way, just so everybody knows, I lived in California for 25 years. Leaving Texas, a zero state. Yeah. Came here and paid taxes, knowing I was going to pay taxes. I'm fine with it as long as the state would use it for good roads, good schools, for good things. But I'm not going to pay the government, the state of California,
that money.
Millions and millions and millions of dollars a year for them to take it and throw it away and support many things that I'm not even supportive of.
Yeah. So I want to go back into this time frame of building that business, though, right? Because you were knocking down on businesses, you were doing events, you were doing all of these things, and people see you today, and they see the cash flow thing, and they see the plan, and they see all of these things, but they don't hear that message enough. Yeah. So I want you to talk about all of those struggles of actually building that business, knocking on those doors, and facing that rejection.
I mean, I don't know if you guys can calculate 3 million miles, but I flew 3 million miles in the United States on commercial airlines. 3 million. So if the average flight's 500 miles, what's 500 into 3 million? It's about 6,000 flights I've been on. Right? So, is that right? Something like that.
Yep. Something like that. Yeah.
Always been good at math.
Yeah.
So 6,000 flights. Those 6,000 flights, and nobody paid for but me. I paid for that flight so I could get somewhere.
Yeah.
In hopes of possibly influencing somebody to know who I am, hear what I had to say, and that they would pay me something. And so not only there was a time when nobody knew my name, right? Nobody knew my name. I hadn't written a book. I didn't have 21 best-selling programs. I wasn't doing audiences. My first gig, I talked to 7 people for 8 hours.
How long? Like
how long did that go on? For 3 years? How long did people not know me?
Yeah.
Oh, nobody knew me really until the last 3 years.
So I want you guys to hear that.
I've been doing this.
How many years of doing that?
20. I've been doing this. I've been doing the pitch thing since 30. I'm 61. So
31 years.
31 years. Nobody's known me until the last 2 or 3 years, maybe.
And would you?
And then Mike Tyson said, "Man, where you been, man? Why doesn't everybody know you, man?
Yeah.
Why doesn't everybody know you?" Steve Harvey, dude, everybody should know who you are. You should have a TV show. Mm-hmm. That was my fault, man. I was thinking too small. I was running down a little channel.
Yeah.
But too many of you guys, you're trying to run down too many channels in the beginning.
Or trying to cross all.
You got to get good at one thing first.
Yeah.
You can't. You're not going to be great at 2 things if you're not great at one thing. Mm. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You can't surf 2 waves at the same time, man. Get good at one wave. Get good at a left. Okay? And so you got to get good at one thing. It doesn't matter if you like it either. You don't need to like it to get great at it.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like, "Oh, I got to follow my passion," particularly here in LA.
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm an artist." Okay. "Oh, I'm meant to do this." Dude, you're meant to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Ask Steven Spielberg. He was not meant to do one thing. He's meant to do a lot of things. We all are. And so it's not some freak phenomenon that a guy can write fiction and nonfiction and do movies. Okay. And also be a massive investor in companies.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's some guy, "Oh, how can a guy write, this and that and do all this and put together these volumes and help people and start because he can and you can too."
Yeah.
Everybody can, but you got to get good at one thing. You got to groove into one thing. Make sure you're certain about one thing before you move on to the second thing, because you're just going to be like, "I'm still in doubt about the first thing, but I'm going to try to get great at this thing," and you didn't finish this thing.
Yeah, and as you start promoting, as you start doing one thing, a lot of people start telling you something. So like for me in particular, as I started doing all the social media, I was blowing up on Instagram, I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing all these things, and I'm talking to people and they're like, "Why are you doing that? Why are you talking to people? Why are you doing that?"
Yeah.
And you hear all of this noise.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you don't actually have the right mentors, if I wasn't following you, I'd just listen to those people and I'd stop doing it.
Yeah, totally.
But you have to keep on promoting, and as you keep growing, as you keep knocking on those doors, you're gonna have people in your family telling you, "You shouldn't do this. I don't know why you're knocking doors. You should go call for a software company, or you should do this, you should do that." What do you think of that?
Look, you shouldn't listen to your family. You should, they already had their shot at you.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I didn't listen to you when I was 7. All of a sudden, I'm gonna start taking advice from you.
Yeah.
Like my sister's like, "You're too social." I'm like, "Dude, please stop it." Like, your whole life's on social media. They can see it all. I'm like, "You don't know that. Number one, you don't even know that."
Yeah.
Right? That's her. She's not talking to me. Even though your family members, I just want the best thing for you. No, they don't, dude. They don't even want the best thing for themselves, right? If they wanted the best things for themselves, explain their physical condition. Explain why they got 7 different meds in their medicine cabinet. Explain to me why their marriage is suffering. Explain to me why they haven't read a book or been on a course or done anything to improve their life in the last 10 years. They don't want the best for you. They don't even want the best for themselves. Don't tell me what you want for me. Show me that your life is getting better.
Yeah.
That's the only people I listen to. Like, I listen to people that are doing better than I do. And I go places where people are doing significantly better than I am.
Yeah.
And the things that I measure is, a number of things. Your spiritual condition is important to me.
Yeah.
What do you believe? If you got all the money in the world and you are certain that there is nothing else going on in this universe, I am not going to take material advice from you, because I believe that the material and the spiritual are just indicators to one another.
Yeah.
If you're rich or you're a godly man and you're in terrible physical condition, I am not going to listen to you. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect. I'm not even trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
And so I look for people that can teach me what I don't know. What can I see? And I want to be in good physical shape. I need this physical unit. I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
I'd love to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I think I could get more done without it.
Need it. Yeah.
But you know, feeding, watering. Right now, I got to take a leak. You know, it's like, God damn, man.
All these things.
You know, so but man, just I'm not going to go to my sister, who's never done what I've done, and say, should I do this?
Yeah.
Elon Musk is not going to check with his siblings.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you know what? I got this idea. We will go to Mars. I have no clue what it's going to cost. Don't know where the money's going to come from. Don't even know if there's anything there. What you think?
Yeah.
He doesn't check, dude. He checks. Steve Jobs used to say this. He's like, hey, we're going to build a phone so sexy that people will spend their last pennies on it. They'll lick the buttons off of it. So we won't put any buttons.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they're like, Steve, nobody wants an iPhone. He's like, how can they possibly know what they want when we haven't built it yet? He says, I'll build it. We'll show them what they want. And people don't know.
Yeah. And I feel like way too many people actually just listen to the audience and the people around them instead of creating what they know is going to work.
People listen to too many people.
Yeah.
Like you need to filter down to who you listen to. I don't listen to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear them. You know, but, you know, he don't know what he's talking about.
Totally.
Dude, if you're not saying that, most of them has no clue.
Has no clue.
But I'm not criticizing him, by the way. I'm not criticizing. Mike Tyson yesterday telling me something. I said, that's bullshit, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, who tells the champ? That's bullshit. I said, dude, you don't know what you're talking about right now. He's like, enlighten me, man. Tell me, man. I said, all this surrender bullshit, dude, it's all bullshit. The guy that told you need to surrender, the therapist that told you that bullshit was the confused one.
Yeah.
Okay? So totally. I've learned who not to listen to.
So as you're kind of
let me give you one more example, okay? Because I got all these social media guys that work for me.
Yeah.
And they're all younger than me by, you know, a third.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're the bright ones.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, guys, I want to go to Snapchat. We've raised almost $200 million using social media.
Yep.
In under 20 months. That's $200 million, okay? In under 20 months. And I've not paid anyone. I haven't ran an ad.
Wow.
All Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat.
Organic. So all of it organic.
Just me talking, right?
Yeah.
So 200 million. This has never been done before, by the way. This is Blackstone. Like, Blackstone's like, huh? I mean, there's some people, some big players that are very interested in this. Yeah. So I went to my millennial guys, my e-commerce guys, and said, hey, I want to start banging on Snapchat. Oh, your traffic's not at Snapchat. I said, that's fine. There's people there, right? They're 14 years old. They can't invest with you. I said, dude, they're 14 years old. We're going to... I started doing 14 years old on Snapchats, talking about them investing with me, and I started getting money from their parents.
Wow. So as you're going 10x global, right? Yeah. As you're trying to take it to that next level, I'm sure a lot of people are telling you stuff. I'm sure a lot of people are like,
don't do the 10x growth conference at Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, our last conference, we did it on Super Bowl weekend. Everybody said, don't do that, including celebrities.
Yeah.
Like Steve Harvey. Well, why would you do it?
Why would you do that?
Grant, why would you do it on a Super Bowl weekend? Because the stadium's available. Nobody else is going to be doing anything that weekend. Grant, Super Bowl weekend. I understand. I'm putting the conference on. I'm just asking you to come speak at it, okay? Let me worry about the rest. You're going to have your hands full with the hour and a half, okay? We sold the place out. 35,000 people were there at Super Bowl weekend. Everybody told me not to do a Super Bowl weekend.
You did it. So, but as you're starting to, as you're starting to take 10x global, you're trying to go to all of these countries, you're trying to do all of these things, like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, I want to meet people, man. I want to meet everybody. Yeah. I want to meet 7 billion people.
Yeah.
I want to meet people in Nigeria, and I want to meet people in Singapore, and I want to meet people in Africa. And I think these are my friends. I just don't know them yet. You know, I want to put these little anchor points all over the planet, so that I have friends. My family, my kids have friends all over the world. Having money's one thing, but if you don't have anybody to have fun with, you know, to have conversations with, to mix it up with, then you're just going to be an old lonely person.
Yeah.
See, this is crazy. Like for me to see as much as I use Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Snapchat and all that stuff, what a lot of people don't see, you guys out there, is like I still use this. Walk over, say hi to somebody.
Say hi to
Walk
someone.
out, be seen. You still have to work the physical universe. You can't just work a virtual universe. So I could get, 100,000 views on a post, but meeting one person face to face and put him in my car to drive him to an event, to his next appointment, can be more valuable than 118,000 people seeing a post on Instagram of me and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
That one deal could be worth hundreds of millions. That
more.
one drive this morning could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's crazy.
This hedge fund
Yeah.
is $10 billion.
Yeah.
10 billion.
That's sad. It makes me feel little. Makes me
Who's
feel
that?
little.
Anthony?
Yeah.
Anthony Scaramucci. That's crazy.
What a punk I am.
Yeah. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to ask you 4 or 5 questions from Instagram. I want you to answer them quick.
I'm there.
What is your biggest regret and your strongest asset?
Not going to the military.
And your strongest asset?
First one is not going to the military. Number 2, staying small too long. Regrets. And what's my biggest asset?
Yeah.
My persistence.
Persistence. Is it possible for an 18-year-old guy to invest in real estate with a small budget?
Absolutely. Invest with CardoneCapital.com.
There you go.
CardoneCapital.com. CardoneCapital.com. Say it after me. CardoneCapital.com.
Love that.
Just got a tattoo.
How do you instill passion and motivation into those who you work with?
Be passionate and motivated. Be the beacon. Don't try to instill it in them. Just worry about yourself. You got your hands full with yourself.
Yeah. What is the number one habit you've developed that has been the biggest game changer in your life?
I don't listen to other people.
Love that. How do you mix golf and business?
I've never done that well, but I do make money while I'm out there.
3 things.
I always beat people. Like I'm not the best golfer, but I always beat.
always beat
What's your
people.
handicap?
18.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We'll have to go play. I'll work you.
Yeah.
You'll work me, huh? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep raising the ante until you're like, until an easy shot, dude.
I'm going to take 10 mil off you.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
3 things Elena, you, Sabrina, and Scarlett as 10X parents do disrupting the life balance misconception.
Dude, we do it all every day. Like I mean, the whole life balance thing it's so much bullshit. It's like unbelievable. Like this nirvana moment of like we just do it all, dude. Like I go get money so that I can have the resources necessary for me to have the life.
Yeah.
Not the life balance.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in life balance. I mean, the way to balance a tire is to fill it up with air.
Fill it up.
All the way up. Like so what I'm doing is I'm just blowing on all the important 6 or 7 or 8 spokes of my life. I'm heating up all the time to expand as much as possible.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you the last question. What gives you the confidence to talk on stage?
I'm never really confident, when I go out there.
Yeah.
So I'm scared most of the time.
Yeah.
If it's my audience, it's a little easier because they're my people, right? But I'm always. I think the thing the hardest thing about speaking on stage, particularly when you're holding your own event, is will people even come?
Yeah.
And then that's the scariest thing.
That's the scariest part.
God damn, is it going to be? Will people be here? And then once they're here, then it's like I want people leaving happy. I can't make everybody happy, but will people leave here and say, "Hey, this was an awesome deal"? I've never got over the fear thing.
Yeah.
So whether it's a podcast with you guys or speaking to 34,000 people,
Always there.
It's always like
Yeah. Totally. And one last thing, and this is for me personally.
Yeah.
If you lost everything, right? All your books erased, all your audios erased, everything.
Yeah.
What's the one message you would want people to know about Grant Cardone?
Well, I got me, man. I now know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a body. I mean, you can't take it. The most valuable things you can't take from me. You can take all my money. You can take away the plane. You can take away all that stuff. You can't take me away.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't know for 45 years.
45 years.
You can't take me away. I know who I am now. I'm not Grant. I'm not 5'8". I'm not a sales guy or a social media guy or a real estate guy. Those are just labels. You know, I'm me.
I love that. Yeah. Well, Grant, I appreciate you being on the
Come
Zain
on, you're
Effect.
awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.